Hi guys, no outdoor activities because there's a thunderstorm in Singapore right now. Indonesia's dry season begins in about 2 months' time. I think I better start training soon and check on the activity status of the peaks I plan to climb this year. I didn't climb last year because the peak I was planning to do was showing increased volcanic activity. I check on volcanic activity, which is posted all over the internet and readily available to anybody who knows how to get online. I assess the risks from scientifically obtained information and decide whether to do the climb. Now on Friday, May the 8th, 2026 at around 7:41 local time, Gunung Dukono in Maluku produced a powerful explosive eruption. A thick ash column rose approximately 10 kilometers into the sky and drifted northward. The eruption lasted more than 16 minutes and was among the strongest recorded in recent years. Now, at that moment, a group of hikers, 20 of them, 9 Singaporeans, 11 Indonesians, were on the mountain with 3 of them near the crater of the volcano. Indonesian authorities launched a rapid search and rescue operation. Teams used drones and worked under challenging conditions, seizing windows of opportunity with ongoing eruptions, rugged terrain, rain, and poor visibility. Within 2 days, from May the 8th to May the 9th, all 17 survivors were safely evacuated. The body of the Indonesian victim was also recovered. On May the 10th, bodies of the 2 Singaporean victims were recovered. I won't mention their names. Now, according to one video on Instagram, the victims have been pinned under boulders and hot ash has vaporized all flesh from their bodies. The operation ended on May the 10th with all 20 individuals accounted for. While the surviving Singaporeans sustained minor injuries and returned home shortly afterward. Now, in the wake of the tragic incident, our keyboard warriors invaded social media and mocked the victims and survivors for their recklessness and foolhardiness. A concerned friend advised me to stop climbing these Indonesian volcanoes, something which I do every year. Now, interestingly, this tragedy seemed to have taken limelight from another tragedy which occurred just 1 day later. Now, in contrast with the deadly volcano, very few netizens seem to be talking about the Ferrari that crashed near Kota Tinggi.
This Malaysia, welcome to Malaysia. The Singapore richer guy, but so is still dangerous.
It's obvious that both accidents are preventable. Dukono is one of Indonesia's most active volcanoes. It stands at a very modest altitude of 1,355 meters and has been erupting continuously since 1933. However, Dukono's main attraction lies in its iconic small-scale explosive eruptions. Take a selfie from the crater rim with that eruption in the background and can grow a social media account faster than any other dangerous stunt.
Depembak makmai taang ka, taang ka.
Batu.
Banyak batu.
Mahal kan lebih.
Dekat sekali. Inilah sama tadi.
In the weeks before May 2026, authorities noted that the activity on Dukono had increased significantly with more frequent explosions and ash emissions. The Indonesian Volcanology Agency maintained alert level 2 and enforced a strict 4-kilometer exclusion zone around the crater. Climbing or entering the zone was prohibited due to the risk of sudden explosions, falling rocks, ash and toxic gases. The 20 hikers had deliberately entered the restricted 4-kilometer zone the day before the eruption, ignoring official bans and posted warnings precisely because they wanted a better chance of capturing an explosive selfie, if you will.
Wow, this is incredible! Look at that crater! Oh, the T-Rex of the sea! The tower's just mind-blowing, yes!
And that's all to it. Please don't milk it and leave the victims alone. Now, I've been climbing Indonesian volcanoes for the past 30 years. My first was Gunung Merapi, and I did it from Kaliurang in 1993. On my way up the mountain, I had to stop by and register at the village of Kinarejo. I arrived at the village at about 2 a.m. in the morning and I called out for the Juru Kunci. His name was Mbah Marijan. It's the mystical gatekeeper of Gunung Merapi. The ancient Javanese believed that the city of Jogja lies on a cosmological axis between two powerful forces of nature. The world of fire in the north, Gunung Merapi, and the watery depths of the Indian Ocean in the south, to ensure the stability of the kingdom, preventing natural disasters like tsunamis and volcanic eruptions. The rulers of Jogja had, for centuries, conducted rituals to placate the spirits of the fire and water. These Hindu or animistic rituals survived Islamization. In modern times, court retainers still travel to the southern coast to offer clothing, hair and nail clippings of the Sultan, symbolizing his ongoing commitment and duty towards his symbolic marriage to the Queen of the Southern Seas. Mbah Marijan was appointed the spiritual guardian or gatekeeper of Gunung Merapi in 1982, replacing his father, Mbah Hargo. His birthplace was in the mountainside hamlet of Kinarejo, which sits on the slope of Gunung Merapi. As a spiritual guardian of the mountain, Mbah Marijan was a subject of the palace in Jogja, and it was his duty to communicate with the spirits of Merapi. Since his appointment by the Sultan, Mbah Marijan had led processions from the palace and conducted prayers to appease the spirits of the volcano. He described his job, for which he was paid only $1 a month, as being, quote, to stop lava from flowing down, let the volcano breathe but not cough, unquote. From his house in the village of Kinarejo, Mbah Marijan would regularly offer flowers and food. He believed that he held the key to Merapi's temperament. Fortunately or unfortunately, not many people in modern Indonesia believed that before 2006. Mbah Marijan's powers would be proven in May 2006 when he refused to leave his village despite a mandatory evacuation order. Scientists warned of an imminent eruption. As it turned out, Merapi did erupt, but interestingly, the hot ash stopped within 200 meters from his home. Mbah Marijan and his followers survived, and it made headline news. His defiance and survival won him accolades as a tough and competent mystic. Newspapers framed his actions within Javanese spiritual traditions, where Merapi is seen as having a spiritual essence linked to the Sultanate and its ancestors. To reinforce that belief, 2 disaster relief volunteers who were harboring in a shelter, a bunker specially constructed for displaced villagers, were baked alive inside when pyroclastic flows buried the structure. There was a stunning revival of Javanese mysticism. Mbah Marijan became a hero, a celebrity, and a brand ambassador for an Indonesian energy drink.
Kekuatan alam begitu dahsyat. Mbah Marijan, Chris John, 2 lelaki pemberani. Manusia pemberani adalah manusia yang dapat menaklukkan rasa takut itu sendiri. Kuku Bima Energy, minuman energi. Kuku Bima Energy, selera lelaki pemberani.
He won many fans, followers, and believers. Ironically, the minimal death toll for that 2006 eruption was due to the timely action of people following the evacuation order. It didn't take long before Merapi got angry again. In October 2010, another evacuation order was issued. As you can imagine, the scientists had a much harder time convincing the people to evacuate this time, especially when Mbah Marijan stayed put, believing that his prayers would stop the mountain from spewing ash and lava. The Sultan himself ordered him to leave, but Mbah Marijan explained that his rituals to placate the mountain and save the people required him to stay in his home. Performing his prayers elsewhere would make him lose his concentration. This time, 353 people were killed, including Mbah Marijan himself. His body was buried in ash and he appeared to be praying right till the end. With modern equipment and instruments in place, volcanoes are unlikely to surprise us with sudden explosive eruptions. However, scientists and authorities want to be safe rather than sorry. Evacuation orders may well be false alarms. When the local inhabitants are desensitized by these false alarms, they tend to underestimate the risks and ignore warnings. That's what happened at Gunung Dukono. I would not get near a volcano marked with a level 2 alert. The folks on Gunung Dukono that day wanted a higher chance of capturing an explosive selfie.
Oh, look at that crater. Oh, that's just amazing. Oh, that's what they survived it. Unbelievable. Wow, this is better. Wow, it's about to National.
Mbah Marijan is succeeded by his son Mbah Aceh, who has not boasted about any ability to rein in the power of Merapi. Nevertheless, with due respect to his father's legacy, he accepts his appointment as a traditional obligation. Until this day, the rituals are still being carried out, hopefully just as a traditional obligation as well.